Hi lovies, you're welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, that leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive in into today's video. Lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to show you guys where the United States have actually rejected the arrest warrant of, Israel Prime Minister and the head of Hamas. Guys, this actually got, people talking, and I was just able to put up some stitches. Guys, I'm just going to run the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. And it's clear Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that. We will always stand with Israel and the threats against its security.
The United States fundamentally rejects the announcement today from the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court that he is applying for arrest warrants for senior Israeli officials together with warrants for Hamas terrorists. There should be no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. None. Hamas is a brutal terrorist organization that carried out the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust and is still holding dozens of innocent people hostage, including Americans. Furthermore, the United States has been clear since well before the current conflict that the ICC has no jurisdiction over this matter. The ICC was established by its state parties as a court of limited jurisdiction. These limits are rooted in principles of complementarity, which do not appear to have been applied here, amid the prosecutor's rush to seek these arrest warrants rather than allowing the Israeli legal system a full and timely opportunity to proceed. In other situations, the prosecutor deferred to national investigations and worked with states to allow them time to investigate. The prosecutor did not afford the same opportunity to Israel in this case, which has ongoing investigations into allegations against its personnel. There are also deeply troubling process questions. Despite not being a member of the court, Israel was prepared to cooperate with the prosecutor and had made that clear. In fact, the prosecutor himself was scheduled to visit Israel as early as next week to discuss the investigation and hear from the Israeli government. The prosecutor's staff was supposed to land in Israel today to coordinate the visit, and instead, Israel was informed that the prosecutor's staff didn't get on their flight around the same time that the prosecutor himself went on television to announce these charges. These circumstances call into question the legitimacy and credibility of this investigation. Finally, this decision does nothing to help and could jeopardize ongoing efforts to reach a ceasefire agreement that would get hostages out of Gaza and surge humanitarian assistance in. Those are the goals that the United States is pursuing and will continue to pursue despite these actions by the ICC prosecutor. And with that, Matt.
That's it? Nothing else?
The outrageous decision by the ICC prosecutor, Karim Khan, to seek arrest warrants against the democratically elected leaders of Israel is a moral outrage of historic proportions. It will cast an everlasting mark of shame on the international court. Israel is waging a just war against Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization that perpetrated the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Hamas massacred 1,200 Jews, raped Jewish women, burned Jewish babies, took hundreds hostage. Now, in the face of these horrors, Mr. Khan creates a twisted and false moral equivalence between the leaders of Israel and the henchmen of Hamas. This is like creating a moral equivalence after September 11th between President Bush and Osama bin Laden, or during World War II between FDR and Hitler. What a travesty of justice, what a disgrace. The prosecutor's absurd charges against me and Israel's defense minister are merely an attempt to deny Israel the basic right of self-defense. And I assure you of one thing, this attempt will utterly fail. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against our enemies. Those days are over. Now the Jewish people have a state, and we have an army to defend our state. Notwithstanding the blood libels Mr. Khan has leveled, Israel will continue to wage this war in full compliance with international law. We will continue to take unprecedented measures to get innocent civilians out of harm's way and to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches those in need in Gaza. Mr. Khan also sets a dangerous precedent that undermines every democracy's right to defend itself against terror organizations and aggressors. The ICC has no jurisdiction over Israel, and Mr. Khan's actions will not stop us from waging our just war against Hamas. But Mr. Khan's abuse of this authority will turn the ICC into nothing more than a farce. He's doing something else. He is callously pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism that are raging across the world. Through this incendiary decision, Mr. Khan takes his place among the great anti-Semites in modern times. He now stands alongside those infamous German judges who donned their robes and upheld laws that denied the Jewish people their most basic rights and enabled the Nazis to perpetrate the worst crime in history. 2 weeks ago, on Holocaust Memorial Day, I pledged this: no amount of pressure and no decision in any international forum will prevent Israel from defending itself against those who seek our destruction. To all the enemies of Israel, including their collaborators in The Hague, I renew that pledge today. Israel will wage our war against Hamas until that war is won, because never again.
This won't even be the first time that the US empire sanctioned the ICC. In fact, it's as recently as 2020 when the Trump administration sanctioned the ICC when they opened up an investigation into US war crimes in the Afghanistan war. But what is new is the way that France and Germany broke off from the US empire on their stance by saying that they will actually honor the arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant if they were issued by the ICC. Not only that, over 100 MPs and lords from 11 different parties in the UK is urging their government to also comply with the ICC arrest warrants when they're issued. These countries are doing this to create plausible deniability of their own complicitness in war crimes, but this does further show how the US empire and Israel are becoming further and further isolated from the rest of the world.
The ICC's behavior in charging Benjamin Netanyahu, I think his Minister of Defense and whatever Israeli officials that they've charged in this, at the same time as charging the individuals in Hamas that they have, it's very rich to me. It's very ironic to me, and I'll tell you why. To me, it comes off like they are almost trying to appease people who would have been mad that they were charging Benjamin Netanyahu in the first place. This is not me saying that the Hamas individuals should not be charged or don't deserve to be charged. That's not what I'm saying, but it comes off very ironic that this is happening at the same time. You know, have you ever been in a situation where somebody's like continuously antagonizing you, you know, and people aren't saying anything, and then you finally snap and react, and then people jump in and, oh, everybody needs to calm down. And it's like, well, why didn't you say anything when that person was aggravating me? Why is it now both parties or all parties involved need to calm down? You see how disingenuous that sounds? And I could be wrong, but this kind of comes off like an attempt to pacify the people who would have been angry had they charged Netanyahu anyway, right? And whether this whole charge situation will be respected or not, I don't know. But it's very interesting to see the history that the ICC has in its prosecution of war criminals, right? And I have a very limited understanding. I might not know all of the details, but this is what it looks like to me.
4 hours after the ICC said that they want a warrant for Benny Boy's arrest in Israel because, you know, they believe that he is at fault for multiple war crimes and atrocities committed against human life, Mr. Biden, you know, the dinosaur in office in the USA, has stated that he is fully on Benny Boy's side. He says he does not believe that there is a G-side going on, even though the ICC says that they have a lot of proof for that. And not just that, you have the Foreign Affairs Office in Berlin, in Germany, saying that they don't believe that, you know, everything is happening correctly and that there has been an incorrect impression of what is going on right now. So now you have two countries actually showing you that they are willing to support Israel, even though the Prime Minister of Israel might end up in prison for his war crimes. And the thing is, if you're so sure that Benny Boy has done nothing wrong and that he is completely innocent, why do you have an issue for him to be, you know, in front of the courts? Because he's not just going to, you know, be locked up immediately. He has the right to defend himself, am I right? And if he is truly as innocent as you do believe, that will be decided there. and then he's gonna live happily ever after. The only reason you might be a little scared for him to be arrested is when you actually know that he is guilty of the things that he is being accused of. And you don't want all of this to be laid out in front of the court and in front of the entire world, even though the people who have been already watching knew what he did. But this is more about the people who have not been, tuning in every single day, looking at his actions every single day, and have been blindly following Western media outlets and believing all of the propaganda that Western media outlets spewed in the last, 8 months now. And it's also about saving, your own reputation and your own behind. Because if he is found guilty, then you are also complicit, because you have been blindly supporting that man for over half a year now. And you have been blindly defending that man for over half a year now. And you're still blindly defending that man right now, even though the ICC wants him arrested. So not even 24 hours.
Like, seriously, lovelies, I am not even, I'm not surprised about what is happening here. I'm not surprised by the response. Like, I posted a video that's about, a day back, where the ICC actually, issued an arrest warrant to actually, arrest these two people, the minister of, and that of Hamas, and people were like, jubilating. People were like, okay, I think that is a very good thing to do. At least this will, give room for those people that have been persecuted to actually have a breathing space. At least these people have a chance now to go out and, dialogue on how to settle the issue on deck. And at least to give rooms to what have been happening for over, 9 months, to come to like a little bit of breathing space. And not even quite long, not even up to 48 hours of the, of the warrant being issued. Now, these people are saying that they have rejected it. That they are rejecting it. They do not care. They oh my God, that is even anti-Semitic. Like, seriously, everything about them is anti-Semitic. Everything about them is just anything you do for the betterment of humanity is considered anti-Semitic. Anything you do that will make people's sufferings to be a little bit less is now considered an anti-Semitic. Like, how did we even get here? Like, is it that these people are above the law? Like, if it is some kind of individuals or some kind of people, okay, it's something that is doable. But if it's why is that anything that has to do with, these people is some kind of it's a very tough one. Do you know how this ICC have to have to battle it and come to the decision of issuing this warrant, and the people in question are even TREAT, these people, that if you come for us, we are going to come for you. Like, seriously, people have been saying, some people have been talking about how these people actually are the ones that rules the world, how these people are the ones that tells what is going to happen or what is going to be and what is not going to be. People were like, okay, but now this shows it. So that means there are some certain people that is actually above the law. There are some certain people that have to abide to the rules and regulations, and there are certain people that are not, ought not to abide to the rules and regulations. And now you are trying to compare, Hamas and Israel and all of that. You're trying to tell us that you cannot compare Hamas because, yeah, they are terror. There's some kind of words I actually did not want to use. So that's why sometimes I just, have to speak and abbreviate it for the sake of, what I mean. So they mean that these people, you cannot compare them with, there's terrorists. You cannot compare terrorists with Israel, all of that. But people keep on complaining about how these people have been terrorizing you guys. But the media is showing something else. The media is showing the sufferings of innocent people. The media is showing the sufferings of pregnant women. The media is showing the sufferings of people that have nowhere to even, live. They don't have food to eat. people, like the media is shared. Sometimes when these people complain about, we are also passing through the same thing, we are also, into the same kind of scenario, I try to ask myself, if you are going through what these Palestinian people are going through, why are we not seeing them? Why is it just a male say? Why is it just something that is being spoken? Why is it that you guys are not showing it? And the way the media, or the way they would say it, as if all of those things we are seeing in the media is a kind of a dramatic stuff, or something that these children they are acting a movie. Like, seriously, how long will this suffering continue? And the worst part of it is that this is not having any effect on the high class people, or maybe the rich people and all of that. This is having an effect on innocent civilians. It's not even having an effect on the people that you are telling that they are the problems, they are the terrorists and all of that. All of the things you are doing is not having any impact on the HAMS people. Rather, you are destroying the innocent people, innocent civilians. Is there no way that you can actually go after these said people in order, like, you can just go after them without hurting these innocent people? You can just do that. Why are you always, when we want to say something like this, they attempt like it is not their fault that these innocent people are harmed, that it is the fault of these HAM people because they are using these innocent civilians as a shield. So, as a reasonable person, or as someone that has humanity at hand, can't you just get any form of strategy for you to carry out whatever you want to carry out, but leave these innocent civilians out of it? Maybe you could just find somewhere inside anywhere and settle your dispute without trying to hurt these innocent people that has nothing to do with all of the things that is going on, especially this underaged one. Even till date, when you go on TikTok, you see them every day, the same, like, different kind of horrific stories. Like, seriously, lovelies, when is all of this going to stop? When are they actually going to, like, okay, we are gonna have a fresh air? Like, seriously, when that arrest warrant and everything was just trending 2 days back, in my mind, I was like, are you sure these people is going to comply? And it's not even up to 48 hours. We are rejecting. Like, seriously? So there are some certain people that is above the law, and there are certain people who can actually, follow the rules and regulations. And when you want to try to actually help these suffering people, you will be bullied. I saw a video which I actually posted about this Miss Jane. She's trying to, like, help Palestinian people or children, but she was bullied by the Jewish women. Miss Rachel, she was bullied because they tell her, like, they're like, okay, you do not love all children. This lady decided to create to launch a campaign to actually, generate funds to help these innocent people that is suffering. But you think that these people do not deserve it because you don't see their suffering as a real suffering. And you went ahead to bully this woman. She was crying. I don't just understand what the humanity has turned to. And when I saw this, I was like, there it is. I know it's not going to take time. These people just... this same thing that they did with the ICJ. Like, seriously. Anyways, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or words. So we're just here for educational purposes. So please, share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. And I will see you, lovelies, when I upload it.
If you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes, guys. Alright, lovelies. Please share this video, subscribe, and I will see you when I upload the next one.